So this week we had a hearing on the expansion of the working family credit that was included in last year's vetoed bill. We were really happy that in this year's governor's tax bill, he included the Senate provision for the expansion of the working family credit. First of all, we were able to get rid of the marriage penalty by passing the federal conformity bill. Now we are working on expanding the credit for the number of tax filers it will affect and a different set of tax filers. Prior to this year and in this bill, you had to be at least 25 before you could claim the working family credit, or as I like to call it, the workers' credit, because you don't have to have children in order, qualifying children, different than dependents, by the way, but you don't have to have qualifying children to claim the workers' credit or the working family credit. So we are now lowering the age at which you're eligible to apply for it to 21. And then we are also expanding or increasing the threshold at which you can apply for and receive the working family credit. It is the case that most families and most individuals, all workers who apply for the working family credit, only do so for 1 or 2 years, but it is the biggest boost out of poverty and out of income insecurity that we know in the tax law. And so from the hearing today, it's clear that we are, I believe, going to get bipartisan support. It's a DFL initiative, but it is not a DFL issue. It is an issue that affects working families all over Minnesota. 48% in greater Minnesota, 52% in the metropolitan area, but more families as a percentage of greater Minnesota families claim it than do those in the metropolitan area. So it is clearly a all Minnesota tax initiative that benefits working families, low and modest income, to rise up into the middle class. And we're very, very proud of this initiative and really welcome the support of the governor in his own tax bill. And we're absolutely working for bipartisan support.
That was really good. I have one follow-up. Can you talk a little bit, Senator, about the history of the working family credit?
In 1986, President Reagan supported what was then called the Earned Income Tax Credit, and it was an alternative to raising, at that time, the federal minimum wage. Following that, and it was embraced again in a bipartisan manner in Congress, following that, state after state after state adopted their own version within their own tax system. And in the mid-1990s, early 1990s, Minnesota adopted its version, which it basically conforms to the federal credit and is and was called the Working Family Credit. There's been an expansion of it proposed also by Speaker Ryan in Congress last year. So we know that it has bipartisan support, bipartisan interest, and that it's a credit that works.
That was great. My last question, which is a trickier one than the others because it's less policy focused, but what does the term working Minnesotan mean to you?
Working Minnesotan is someone who gets up, goes to work every morning, and puts in a full day's work. And those are our neighbors, our friends, our family members all over this state. And what the Working Family Credit does is to reward work. It is not a, quote, welfare program. It rewards work. You can't get the Earned Income Tax Credit or the Working Family Credit unless you are a worker.
That was was great. Anything else you want to add?
That's it.
All right,
All
perfect.
right. Thank